What's up guys, my name is Kabir Ali and welcome to the Medical Mix. Today I'll be doing a complete walkthrough of how to use Evernote on iPad. I'll show some of the different features, go through some tips and tricks for using it, and also give my final review on whether Evernote is actually worth it to use on iPad. For some quick context, I used Evernote as my primary note-taking software for about a year during my freshman year of high school, and I enjoyed it, but it has its up and downs, and so I decided to switch off from it. But now I've tried to come back as I've seen that they've updated and changed their entire UI, and so I just wanted to give you guys a little look into how that works. Let's get started. I'm going to switch to the top-down setup so you guys can actually see what's going on. Alright, so I've got the Evernote homepage open right here, and I'm going to go through some of the higher level things and then get into the nitty-gritty details a little bit later. So first up, let's go through the homepage with the widgets. I've got the Notes widget, Scratchpad, and Recently Captured. Unfortunately, unless you upgrade to Evernote Premium, these are the only three widgets that you're going to be able to access, and they're always going to be here, but they are helpful. So Scratchpad, I really like this one. It allows you to do some quick access notes. So if you have an idea, you can come to Scratchpad and start writing. So you can just tap here, and you can use the Apple Pencil to start writing. It'll convert to text, or you can also, as you saw, the keyboard came up, you can start typing as well. And that's fine. So you can actually enter this Scratchpad note, and then you can move it into a separate notebook later. Here I've got my recent notes, so this is suggested and recent notes, whatever I've worked on. And then other side is recently captured. This part's a bit annoying because the web content, the web clips, sorry, being able to access this, you have to actually be on a desktop computer. You can't do this from iPad or a mobile device. So it's really annoying that it shows that like you can, but you actually are not able to access these. So that's unfortunate, but we do have the images option, so you can take pictures of, as it says here, receipts, records, all different kinds of things. And then document scanner. This is actually very helpful for taking pictures of assignments, PDFs, whatever you want to have ported into Evernote. Now I found, in my experience, that the document scanner is not always spot on, so you might have to scan it with something else and then bring it in, but for taking pictures, it's just fine. Now, audio, this is for recording, like lectures, meetings, whatever you want to record for audio, and you can actually move each of the things whenever you import something into here, into a notebook later on, so don't worry about organization here. And then emails you're not able to do unless you have Evernote Premium. Alright, so now let me actually show you the notes themselves. So if I go into this side menu, I have my notebooks, and these two are actually in a stack. That's what this icon is for, so it just helps to keep it more organized. Let's go into random note, so cellular organelles. Okay. This is a very simple note. I've just done bulleted lists with some titles, but there's a lot more you can do. So here's the interface. It's got all your basic text editing tools, as well as a nice highlight tool. If I want to highlight something, you can just double tap and tap the highlight tool, and it will change the color. And then you can also change the font color. If I go here, tap this button, it'll change font color. And then also, the cooler things are you can actually add a sketch. So if I tap this, I can add a sketch, let's say, of a cell and some different organelles that we're looking at. It's a very rough drawing, I know. Add it in, and it'll go into wherever I was typing. And so that's very helpful for if you want to take down a picture you've seen in class and just draw something really quick. It'll add it right in. You can also double tap this button, and actually go in and edit that sketch again, so it saves all your data. So you can change it, erase, do whatever you'd like to do there. Alright, so now I'll continue with the new section. So when you're adding a new note, now you can tap this, it'll give you an option to add a note, but you can also add a picture, a sketch, an attachment, or an audio recording of a lecture or something like that, and then also a task. So first, let me just show you how to add a new note. When you add note, it'll show up like this, very basic, pretty self-explanatory here. So if you tap title, you can add a title and start typing here. I recommend using Evernote always with the keyboard. I don't have the keyboard out right now just because I want to show you guys, but I do have the keyboard right here, as you can see, so I connect that whenever I'm typing, unless you're doing the sketching, obviously, or you can use an external keyboard like the one I have right here. But basically, it's a very simple setup here with the text editing, and adding sketches and images is also very easy. You can also insert, if you look over here, you can insert a bunch of different things. This is really cool. This is why Evernote is very powerful. So you can actually add like tasks, images, attachments, all from here, and you can also add things like a table or a divider or a checkbox. Just very specific things that you wouldn't usually think of, but they're very helpful. And so that's essentially it for the note-taking interface. Now let me talk about the tasks feature real quick. So tasks, I actually have a tasks notebook here, which is very basic. I've just started this, but you can add tasks into that notebook, but you can also, you might have seen before, add a task here. So if I tap this to add task, it'll automatically pick that notebook, the task notebook that I've created, to add this to. But if I want to add a task to anywhere else, I can just open this up, and now I see all of the different specific note pages I can add this task to. So for example, if I wanted to add something to cellular organelles, I can say like, okay, add it here, and then now I can say study nucleus. I know my handwriting is bad, guys. Oh, here we go. Yep, didn't like my handwriting. That's fine. So you can enter, and now that note is going to go into the note that we're just in. The task will go into the note we're just in. So it's right here. If I hit done, it'll actually keep track of how many notes I have, or how many tasks I have in each note. So right here you'll see this 1 out of 1. So it'll let you know if you have any tasks that are outstanding still. And then now if I come back out, I can show you the tags. So right here you got tags, and I just have class notes is my only tag here right now, but tags are very helpful for organizing your notes. So if I come back in here, you can see I've added this to the tag of class notes, just so that I'm able to access it very easily. If I just want to search, go into my tags, I can tap class notes, and I see my 2 notes I've added here. Additionally, you can open up, so like the notebooks menu, which will give you a bigger view of your notebooks, and you can also search for notebooks here, which is very helpful. The Evernote search functions are really nice, I found, and I really enjoy using them because they can actually search within notes. So if I tap this search button at the bottom right in the home page and search for, even let's say if I search for endoplasmic, it will give me the note where I talk about the endoplasmic reticulum. So it'll actually search within the note, which is very helpful. It'll highlight the spot in the note where you found that as well. That's basically it for the overall setup. Now, a lot of things are limited because I don't have Evernote Premium, but I feel that it's an okay compromise if you just want to get started, and maybe you can pay for the premium version later if you're really enjoying it. Just a fair warning though, you're only able to sync 2 devices across the cloud when you're using Evernote with the free version. So the whole compatibility with everything is a bit diminished because you don't have access to as many devices. But I'm only using my iPad and maybe my phone, so it's enough for me, but if you do want more, you'd have to upgrade. Then I've got one last thing, which is these shortcuts. So if you go into shortcuts here, you can see this is just showing us the recent things, but it can actually create shortcuts for quick access to notes. So if I tap this, and I can add to shortcuts, so now a shortcut is created. So once I go back into my shortcuts, it's just going to pull this note up right away. So obviously this would be a note that I'd want to refer to pretty often, and so it's a lot easier to find that if I go into here and just tap shortcuts and it's right there, rather than having to go through all the notebooks and try to rifle through and find it. So that's just another very helpful thing with Evernote. Alright, so that's going to be it for the quick walkthrough. I do enjoy using Evernote, and I like a lot of the features of it, but sometimes it does get glitchy with touch inputs, which is why I said to use a keyboard earlier. But if you can get around that, a lot of the functionality is pretty cool, and I do like that it syncs across devices, so you can use it in different places at once. However, I also have been enjoying using Notion, which is my other note-taking app of choice. I have made some videos about that, so I'll link those down in the description and also up here. But you can check those out and kind of decide whether you want to go with Evernote or Notion. I definitely recommend trying both of them out. They're both really good softwares. And let me know in the comments if you want me to make a direct comparison video between the two. I think that might be helpful for some people. So let me know about that. Also, hit me up with any other questions you have about Evernote or any other apps, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the mix.